What's going on, everyone? So yesterday, the Lakers changed the starting lineup to what you see on screen. LeBron, Prince, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis. And this starting unit is 1-0. And it's something that was talked about. People suggested it. You had other ex-NBA players even suggesting it. Even Lamar Odom chimed in on what he thought the starting unit should be. And the Lakers ultimately made a lineup change. Played Oklahoma City, and this game was excellent, right? The energy was there. This was the Laker team we've been waiting for. That Laker team to show up, play with intensity, play with focus, determination, start to finish, share the basketball. They had 38 assists, right? Kept the turnovers low with 9. Playing against a top 5 offense in the league in Oklahoma City, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league in OK City, and the Lakers did everything that they needed to do to get the job done, and it was an excellent game. If the Lakers play like this more times than not, they're going to win a lot of games, right? But that's been the question, right? The consistency. Can the Lakers maintain this level? We saw it in the in-season tournament, which was why it was okay, well, we could see the Lakers winning a championship if they play the way that they did in the in-season tournament. But the regular season games, they haven't translated that. There's no real sense of urgency. There is no sense of we have to win this game, especially in the Western Conference where it is so tight. Literally from 2 to 10 is only decided by a couple games. So you don't want to end up being in this position to where it's now you fall into the standings and now you're a play-in team when you shouldn't be a play-in team. You should be a playoff team because you just didn't do what you needed to do. Now, they could still sort of mix and match and try out different versions of this starting lineup, right? Maybe you get Rui in there because the big concern is the offense, right? The offensive side of things. This version that we saw yesterday, the whole idea is you just leaning in heavily to the defense. You got the size, so you should be able to rebound the basketball. You got the athleticism between Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt. Got all of your best defensive guys. You're leaning in heavily on the defensive side. But was yesterday fool's gold is the question, right? I've seen a lot of people suggest it. Even when I did the post-game live stream, people talked about hey, there's still definitely concerns. And there are absolutely concerns. Like I said, more than anything, the offensive side. People are concerned that you're putting too much pressure on LeBron and AD offensively. I'm not really worried about that. They're usually are all of our offense to begin games anyway. I mean, look at the Chicago game. Our first 14 points was from LeBron and AD. All 14 of them, right? So I'm not really worried about them. And even Anthony Davis, he usually gets established early. It's usually when he gets the most points. See a lot of games, he'll have 20 in the first and then finish the game with 30. Right? It's because a lot of it's in the first. So I'm not really concerned with that. To me, you're putting more pressure on Torrey and Prince than anybody. Because if he's not shooting well, then now you basically have zero offense outside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. At least Taurean Prince spreads the floor a bit. He's a threat. You see teams kind of gluing a guy to him. But beyond that, right, let's kind of break down this game a little bit. Because there is a real question based on this game of, was it the lineup change? Did it really have any impact? Or was it just LeBron James shot and made basically all of his buckets? He was 13 of 20 from the field, 5 of 5 from 3, 9 of 9 from the free throw line, and he had 40 points. 40 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. A lot of people, again, in my live streams and various comments stuff, said and suggested, the only reason the Lakers won this game is because LeBron scored 40. That I 100% disagree with. LeBron James didn't need to score 40 points for us to win this game. You had multiple guys that were hot, that were shooting the ball excellent. As a team, we were shooting the lights out, right? Now, if you wanted to make that argument of is it because the Lakers shot the lights out and shot 50% from 3? They were 16 of 32 from 3. If you want to make that argument, then that is more of an argument that is definitely there, right? Because look, LeBron could have scored 10 in this game, and I still think we would have won this game. Because, again, you could have gotten more shots to Rui, who was shooting the lights out. Reeves was shooting the lights out. D'Lo only played 17 minutes and gave you 15 points. If you could have extended his minutes, right? I just don't think, LeBron definitely made an impact. I don't think we would have won this game without LeBron, but I don't think LeBron scoring 40 was that was the difference maker in this game. No, I think it was just we played with energy, we were hitting shots, but it's not like OKC just shot abysmal. They shot 48% from the field total. They also only made 3 fewer threes, which is the difference, right? They also shot 9 more threes than us, so they were chucking up threes while we were down there, kind of having a nice little balance. We had a third of our shots be 3 points, where almost half of their shots were 3 points. So that's a big difference. Also, they took more shot attempts than us. We shot 90. They got 95 attempts. So that whole logic there, I don't really buy. Like, I don't think it was just solely the Lakers shot the lights out and that's the only reason. Because, again, OKC shot the ball excellent. They shot 48% from the field. It's not like they shot terribly. Now, obviously, if we shot bad and they shot great, then yeah, you could say, oh yeah, well, we only won because of shooting. But like, then you could say the opposite, right? If OKC didn't shoot good, well, then we would have won by 50, right? Like, so I don't think it was solely the shooting because the energy was there from both sides. The Lakers' intensity, all of that was there. I think what it was more than anything, it was the ball movement and the effort, right? The Lakers, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers haven't lost a game where they've had 30 or more assists. They've lost a couple games where they've had like 28 assists, but whenever they hit 30 plus assists a game, they win those games, right? More times than not. They had 37 assists, and this is why I completely, wholeheartedly disagree with, oh, it was solely because LeBron scored 40 points. LeBron, yes, was brilliant, but so was everybody. You had 6 guys in double figures. You don't get that without guys moving the ball. A lot of our shots were open looks that guys were hitting. We were getting a lot of just like back doors. Like we were getting a lot of lobs, like easy dunks. Like the Lakers were constantly, you'd have 3 or 4 passes before anybody took a shot. The Thunder did everything. They were running zone. They were trying to run man, right? They were trying to pack the paint. They were doing everything. And the Lakers just kept just slicing and dicing. It also is good when you keep the ball and you don't turn the ball over. Both teams had 9 turnovers, right? Oklahoma City had 24 assists with 9 turnovers. The Lakers had 38 with 9 turnovers. That's the difference in the game. One team shared and moved the basketball and got better looks. The other team did not. The other team jacked up 9 more threes and made 3 fewer. That was the difference. So people that are trying to discredit the Lakers, if anything, you should be pointing at Oklahoma City because the Lakers played the game that they should have been playing. If the Lakers play this way, the way that they played against Oklahoma City, the Lakers are going to be a very good team. This was the team that we believed would win the NBA championship. But here is a concern, right? It's not all sunshines and rainbows. The whole idea, as I mentioned, is a couple things. One, you have D'Lo and Reeves off the bench with Rui Hachimura gives you an excellent scoring punch off the bench, which I love, right? And that scoring punch gave you, 47 points collectively, gave you 10 rebounds and 14 assists between those 3 guys. Darvin Ham also coached excellent. This is one of his better coaching games this season. He was decisive. He did a great job all around, making adjustments, calling timeouts, interjecting offense, all of that. D'Lo and Reeves immediately become the best backcourt off the bench in the league, hands down. There's not a better, even if you hate the Lakers, there's no argument that D'Lo and Reeves don't make the best backcourt off the bench in the entire league. They're excellent together. These are 2 guys that would be starting on most teams. So to say that, they're not, like, it's just silly, right? So you have that scoring punch, you have the playmaking, you have the offense, right? You leaned heavily into the defensive side for the starting unit. Issue is the Lakers still gave up 39 points. That's a big problem, right? Because I like the idea of leaning into the defensive unit. I've made videos here. I've made videos on As It Stands Lakers. I've talked about this heavily in live streams, all of that, about just kind of leaning in defensively. I even had some people tell me that it was a silly idea, and guess what? We won yesterday. Now, I think it would be a better idea if we had like a Zach LaVine or something like that, to where, if you were swapping out, say, Taurean Prince for LaVine, and you were going like, and I'm just using LaVine as an example, don't freak out. But let's say you had Zach LaVine, right? Well, now you're going Zach, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD. That's just so much more balance, because now you can live with Vanderbilt and Cam Reddish being offensive liabilities, because you got 3 guys that could go give you 50. That's the difference, right? So you can get away with that offensively to start games. And I just think that's a really well-balanced attack. You're so athletic out on the perimeter. Like, if you're doing things like that. Problem is that you don't have that consistent scorer outside of Taurean Prince, and he's not a guy that's going to go more times than not. Like, he's not a guy that you can count on to go give you a 20-plus. Right? He may have the occasional 18 to 20 point game. He's had a couple years this year for the Lakers, but more times than not, he's a guy that's going to give you, maybe 10 to 12 points, which is fine. That's great for his role. But now when he's in the starting unit, you run the risk of that. So your main job is to basically keep all of these teams modest on offense with your defense. Giving up 39 points in the first quarter is not that. They did correct it in the second, only gave up 20, and then they gave up 32, and then they gave up 29. So the Lakers were good the rest of the game. But that first quarter, which to the Lakers' credit, the Thunder came out blazing, right? The Thunder were shooting the lights out early on. That second quarter was where the Lakers really kind of extended and kind of changed the tide of the game, right? Because outside of that, I mean, the Thunder just, again, you don't score 39 points unless you're shooting hot, right? So was that a fluke? Right? It was just, a Thunder team at home, one of the best 3-point shooting teams, top 5 offense, right? They're averaging 120 points per game. We kept them around their average, right? Was that just an anomaly? Was that just an outlier? And that was why the Lakers were okay, right? Or why the Lakers will be okay with that unit going forward. We'll see, right? We got the Boston Celtics. Again, another top offense, another good defense team, another team that can put them up with the best of them. Coming off of a blowout win over the Clippers, who were playing excellent basketball up until that point. Although Oklahoma City blew out the Clippers too the game prior. So, that bodes well for us. But my point is that I am indifferent on yesterday's game. Okay? I like that we made a lineup change. I think that Darvin Ham should experiment a couple more times with that unit, right? I think you run them out there again, see what it looks like against Boston. You got to kind of keep a short leash, right? And be able to make those adjustments accordingly, which I thought he did an excellent job in the Oklahoma City game. Going to have to do the same thing against Boston. If it kind of looks like, if you have another start to the fourth quarter and it's like, Boston just scored, 38 points in the first, so our defense isn't locking down. And even if we win the game, let's say we win the game by 50, right? Like, I'm not saying we will. It's the Boston Celtics. They've been clearly the best team in the league this year. But let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say, the Lakers are down, 38 to 35 at the end of the first quarter, and they just proceed to blow the Celtics out the rest of the way. That first quarter would still be concerning, because it's like, the whole point is you're trying to contain teams. You're trying to bring that energy, bring that effort. Now, if they're setting the tone because of their energy and effort, and you're kind of sacrificed, like teams, we don't have the offense to keep it up, but it's like, that's kind of like the engine starter that we can kind of cruise the rest of the game, kind of like it was in the OKC game. Well, then now I think, okay, maybe you should leave it. But if we play Boston and it's like, okay, well, that didn't really, they scored 38 points again, then I think maybe you need to change it up again slightly. Maybe you do take out like a Prince for a Rui or something, or maybe you do put like a D'Lo back in the unit and go with Vando and Cam Reddish, right? Especially if D'Lo continues to perform the way he performed. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not opposed to trial and error. That's what the regular season is for. Figure it out. What is your rotation? What are your starters? How are you approaching this? So that way when you get to the playoffs, you're ready to go. That's the whole point. It's what the regular season is for. But there definitely are still concerns, right? Also, the consistency. That's my biggest thing. Can the Lakers consistently put this effort out? I'm not ready to, hail them. Oh, Lakers are back, right? Lakers are this, Lakers. No. Let's cool our jets because Lakers have had good games in the regular season. Lakers have had games where they played very well. All right. The Lakers, biggest problems were winning on the road. Check. Beating a good team, right? Not like one of the top teams in the league. Beating one of them. Check. Right? And then now it's just consistency. They did 2 of the 3 all at the same time, winning on the road and against one of the best teams in the league. And now it's just, can they consistently put it together? You got the Boston Celtics, Christmas Day, at home. There's not a bigger stage than that in the regular season, right? Playing the rivalry, all of that. Lakers got to lock down, got to focus. Pull this back out again. Go get this W again. If they beat the Celtics, and then they beat the Hornets, and then, even if they lose to the Timberwolves, because you're still going to lose games, I just want to see the consistency. I don't even if the Lakers lose to the Celtics, but that the same energy and effort that was in that OKC game is in this game, I'm okay with that. Because it's a step in the right direction. We're starting to see the consistency. Because again, they're going to win a lot more games than they're going to lose if they continue to play that way. For me, I want to see the consistency. So right now, I am indifferent on that game. I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get too low. I want to see, over the next 10 games, them continue to play that way. Once we start getting 10, 11, 12 games in and the Lakers, are continuing to play this way and we're winning those and we go, let's say we win 8 out of our next 11 and Lakers are playing this way and they're cooking. Now I'm willing to start going, okay, this is the Laker team that it is. This is the Laker team that we've been counting on. So we'll see. Time will tell. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Are you somewhere in between? Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.